Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your April 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. Now before we dive into the reading, I just want to say that during these chaotic, uncertain, and scary times, these readings are focusing on love, light, and positivity to build up our energy vibration instead of pulling us down, because there is more than enough out there in the world today to pull us down and make us feel scared, alone, and completely overwhelmed. So this is a time to be elevated to your higher potential and to your higher self. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be moving your Queen of the Moon and your Moonology cards over to the side. These will be layered on top of the tarot in order to give Luna a voice for herself, in order to let the energy of the moon really speak with the energy of the tarot. And the time period of this reading is from full moon to full moon, so from April 7th to May 7th. So let's see now. How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. So at the center of everything is the Two of Coins. You are crowned by the Queen of Cups, a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer, a very strong pull to the full moon in May, which is a Scorpio. Then you have the King of Coins. That is you, Capricorn, shining through. You are represented by the coins, by the pentacles in the minor arcana, and by the Devil card in the major arcana. Then we have the Lovers. Oh, that is beautiful, especially for this time. The Five of Coins is at your root. We have the Hermit, which I get for this time period, not this time period of the moon, but this time of chaos and being overwhelmed. The Hermit is playing a huge part here. And then we have the Ten of Swords. We have the Sun card, which is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. The Knight of Cups. Knights, of course, protect queens. And we have the Five of Cups. So it's very interesting that you have two fives at your root. 5 is a number of freedom, but it is also a number of conclusions coming. So things that are holding you back, that are keeping you worried, you're going to see yourself moving towards a kind of a coming together, a kind of reckoning period. Yeah, that's going to be what is moving you towards something greater, something more. Now, this moon is the most brilliant moon for this time of chaos and upheaval, because this is a Libra full moon. And with the Libra full moon, it calls upon the energy of Venus. And what's important about the energy of Venus during this time is that if you know your mythology, you know that Venus and Mars were lovers. And this is important because April is a time of Mars, of Aries. Aries is Mars's Greek name, and Aphrodite is Venus's Greek name. So here you have a time of power and a surrendering to the divine. And the divine that you are surrendering to are lovers, which is definitely coming up in your reading. And it is also a time of love and of war. And so the time of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling things to be out of your control, of feeling we're at a battle, is the time of war, right? So here it is a time of those two emotions coming together to bring balance and harmony, for you to be a soldier of what you love, of what you desire, and of your heart's truth. It doesn't mean, you go out and you just, kind of fight things. It means that you do what is being told. Isolation is not isolation, but quarantine is absolutely important. And so by doing so, you are embracing your power that you have over this situation, and you're surrendering to the divine energy that is surrounding you. And what that is going to do is it leads you to the egg moon, which is what this full moon is called. It's also called the pink moon, which makes me so happy because that's my favorite color. And here with the egg moon, we have you protected by the shell of the egg, right? So during this time, as you have trust in the protection that's coming, trust in the light of the balance that is bringing you forward, because this is a time of calling upon the power of love, for relationships, for balance of self, and you're calling beauty into your life. This is also saying that during the time of quarantining and during the time of feeling overwhelmed, do not forget to take care of yourself, because that is going to be the first place where we kind of drop the ball, where it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to take care of everybody else. I'm going to focus on what needs to be done. And you just kind of forget about yourself. And it's kind of like, oh, I'll get there. Oh, I'll get there. But you need to make sure you get there. And just by doing little things, just by, making sure, you eat in the morning, just by making sure you take a shower during the day and you don't sit there and you just like kind of pull your hair back, or, kind of just go and throw on sweats and you're just going and everything is crazy and you never stop. This is saying make sure you have time to take care of yourself, because then you'll be able to take care of what needs to be minded better than if you throw yourself in completely exhausted. Because during this time, it's a supermoon. We've come out of a supermoon. We'll be going into another supermoon. I believe this is a time of like lineup of 4 supermoons. We're attracting to us what we need. It may not be what we want, most definitely, but it is what we need to propel ourselves forward to becoming greater human beings. And as we are moving forward towards that goal, with that goal in mind, towards being more than what we are right now, we have the full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. So things become balanced. Things, move forward in positivity instead of in negativity. So it's kind of like, all right, things start to settle. There is a win-win outcome. I can get through this, and things will be okay. They may not be the way that I envisioned them, but they are definitely going to be okay. And it has us here with the supermoon surrendering to emotions. It's kind of like our emotions are running really high. And this is amplified by the fact that we're really seeing winter turn into spring, right? And if you're in the southern hemisphere, it is summer turn into fall. You're really getting that feeling, which kind of gives everybody that antsiness of, I should be getting more done. There's just that energy of things coming back to life. There's this energy of power moving before you. There's this energy of wanting to get out and do more, which during this time leads to frustration. And it can lead you to feeling exhausted because you have this sense of I'm supposed to be, and then this sense of I can't. And so it can lead just to the sense of frustration, which then leads to exhaustion. And this needs to be balanced, because during this time, we are going to be calling upon, just kind of with the energy of this world, calling upon relationships that are emotionally out of balance. The scales need to be tipped. And the main relationship that is out of balance, emotionally out of balance, that is being called on is the relationship for which we have with ourselves. And during this time, you're really going to be sitting there and saying, how do I come out a winner? How do I come out with strength and with power and with beauty on my side, instead of just feeling completely defeated and feeling as if, what have I been working towards? What is going on? I mean, everything seems chaotic. Everything just stopped, right? People have gotten furloughed. Everything has been thrown a monkey wrench, and it's like, what is going on here? And so with the balancing of the emotional scales and the emotional energy of this time, Libra, through its compassion, is actually putting the world back into balance. And that is actually going to lead us to a place that is better than it was before, if not different. It is going to be different, but there is going to be more of a compassionate truth guiding things forward. And this is going to be something that we really see coming to a head, like coming to its power around April 22nd, because April 22nd is when the new moon is in Taurus, and it says prosperity lies ahead. You're taking the bull by the horns, quite literally here, and you are moving towards prosperity. Now, prosperity can be something different for each and every one of us, but it's also a sense of new beginnings, of walking through a gateway and coming to realizations that once seemed either, erroneous, like, oh my gosh, that doesn't make any sense. What does that have to do with my life? Or a sense of, I'm really prioritizing what I want, what I need, and where it is that I want to be. So for a lot of people, and for a lot of us, it's like, wow, look at how fragile the world is. Look how fragile everything is. What do I want from it? And it's putting things into perspective. And it's saying here, a new start is coming. Why? Because you are precipitating this new start. You are sitting there and saying, I want something more than the uncertainty, than the fear, than the being overwhelmed. And you are getting that more as you're balancing the scales, as you are embracing this compassion, as you are looking at yourself with a new understanding, with a new light, and with a new purpose. And as you do so, in May, we move to, oh goodness, we move into the full moon in Scorpio, which as we are purging ourselves of the energy that is harmful, Scorpio, it's kind of like we're gathering it all up in April. And in May, it says it's time to release the negativity. It is time to let it go. It's time to release the poison inside. And it's like it's time to purge ourselves. And you're going to see yourself feel emotionally like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. It's kind of like this time, especially for you Capricorn, because you like to plan and you like to have, you're an earth sign energy, absolutely, and you like to have the balance of things, the stability of things, the reasoning of things brought forward. And with this, it's like, it's overwhelming. And so here, as you release the negativity, you see yourself blossoming into a new truth. And you see yourself moving forward. And it's like, okay, I might not have planned for this. I might not have thought that I can move forward in this way, but I am so empowered and I am moving forward in almost a visionary-like state. And as you do so, the power of your music, the power of your emotional truth and your emotional song really does lead you forward, and it leads you to something more. And as it leads you to something more, you are embracing the totem animals for April. And April's totem animals are so cool because they are both predators. And why that is cool is because April is ruled by Mars. Mars is a fighter, and these animals are fighters. You have the pack animal right here. When I think of pack animals, my first thought goes to wolves. And then we have one of the greatest sight hunters, a hawk. The only animal that surpasses human beings in being like the most scary sight animal predator are birds of prey. And that's what we have right here. So the hawk is bringing us the sense of spiritual awakening, is a totem for spiritual awakening. It's a totem for observation. Visions are coming your way. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the messages. Or if you are like me and you don't remember your dreams, pay attention to the way you feel when you wake up. What is that telling us about what we are going to be, kind of overcoming during the day, because the emotional feeling that we get is astoundingly important. And that's because we are emotional beings. So a lot of times we like to have things kind of so that we can see them. Why? Because we are, again, one of the greatest sight hunters out there. Visual sight, being able to visualize things in our mind, being able to see it, has tremendous importance to us. Wolves are scent hunters, just as a lot of animals are. They hunt via scent. So with this pack coming in together, with the sense of being a part of something so much more, the wolf is telling us about sharp intellect. It's telling us to move forward in our intellect, and it's telling us also to embrace our instinct. We have very strong instincts that are morphed and are molded by our heightened intuition with the hawk spirit. There we go. And underneath here it says, let spirit be your guide. You have this heightened intuition, you have this sense of being very connected to the visionary, and so that is being connected to spirit, the ultimate visionary, and that moves you forward. And this is your guide for this time, this ultimate visionary time of balance, emotional truth, and progress of compassion. It then leads us to the wolf spirit, which says, turn knowledge into wisdom. Because everything that you are learning, everything that you have gathered up from now and from before, is becoming your wisdom, is becoming a mantra for what you live by. And this is heightened by your strong sense of intellect, of power of the mind, and also the instincts to move forward in the visionary aspects for which you are receiving from the hawk spirit. And this then moves us to the totem animals of May. And the totem animals of May are the beaver and the elk. Now I know this is an antelope because I did not have an elk card. So the antelope is representing. And here with the beaver spirit, beavers are all about ingenuity and persistence. If you've ever watched a beaver build their dam, you see how how absolutely focused they are on their work. And it is kind of taking that focus, taking that laser focus and saying, you know what, I am getting things done. Dreams that have been dreams are falling into balance during this Libra moon if you kind of utilize it to its fullest extent. And then in May, this is the time to go kind of for the kill. This is the time to lay the solid foundation for what you want and what you desire. And then it leads you to the elk spirit. My goodness, I'm having a hard time saying that. And it is strength and stamina and endurance and patience in relationships. And it's endurance and also patience in the relationship you have with yourself. And here it says life is speeding up. Yes, because you have that strength of purpose, because you have that stamina to keep on going. So you push yourself a little bit further and a little bit further each and every day, not to the point of exhaustion. It's not sitting there and making a list and saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to make this list and it's huge. And if I don't get it done, I'm an absolute failure. Because if you're like me, I don't like being told what to do by this stupid list. And sometimes I get mad at it and it brings up a whole bunch of frustration. And you're like, okay, Dane, it's a piece of paper that you wrote on. Like, calm down. So here it is a sense of abstractly, it can be abstractly planning what you desire. I want to go to sleep better than I felt when I woke up, like with this feeling of accomplishment. So how can I prioritize my life to move forward that way? And if you're one of those people who can be blessed by, setting down points and just kind of ticking them off and being like, this is perfect, I love this, that is so awesome and I'm envious of you. If you're like me and you need to be a little bit more abstract and say, okay, this time is going to be spent, doing this. And this time, I need to spend this much time in the day, and it doesn't matter when, doing this. And I need to spend this much time from the day doing this. And then, move that forward and utilize that to the highest extent that you can. Then that's awesome too. Everything has to be made to set us up for success. And what works for one person doesn't always work for the other. So here, and why I say this is because at your center, you have the Two of Coins. You have eternal prosperity, but you need to balance it. It needs to be balanced. It needs to be called forth. It needs to come forward. And as you do so, you slowly and steadily walk in your emotional truth. There's also a sense here, if you see that little angel right there over the night, of being blessed as you go on your journey, as you move forward. There are going to be things during this time that absolutely connect you with your heart's desire, with your heart's truth. And the Knight of Cups is saying, let your heart guide you. Why is this important? And this also increases your prosperity. Why? Because I am of the firm belief that we are emotional beings. As emotional beings, we need to listen to our hearts. If we do not listen to our hearts, we wither, we fall. We seem to be stuck in a rut and in a, sense of monotony. So here, in order to have the balance of prosperity, of bounty, of beauty that you want within your life, listening to your heart as you move forward moves you towards success. Because you'll have this gut instinct. If you need to call it your gut, then do so. If you want to sit there and say it's, the muses talking to me, then do so. But I like to see it as my heart, as the essence of myself leading me forward so that I can live kindly, gently, but also purposefully. Because here's the thing, when your goal is to live kindly and gently and to bring peace into the world, you can also have a hard time asserting yourself forward. And so here, with coming into alignment with your heart and your heart's truth and embracing the balance of prosperity, you need to also say your opinion, your power, your purpose matters, and not giving your voice to other people in order to kind of placate them, because this is all a time of emotional balance to relationships. And one of the easiest way to balance relationships is just to agree. Is, this is just who they are, let them be, let's just keep on moving forward. And you're going to have a very strong instinct for which to say that. However, your heart is your knight. Your heart is your defender. So your heart is also going to be forcing you to take a stand in order to live in your emotional truth. And as you do so, you embrace the Queen of Cups. It's kind of like the knight has protected you, and now you get to become the queen. And as you become the queen, I love the sense of serenity from this card. It's just like, and there's peace. And here, the cup isn't in her hand. It's on the table. And there's even a little Scorpio right there. So definitely saying that the Scorpio time period is going to be very important to you, but also that even though this is such a scene of serenity, at least for me when I look at it, there's also danger lurking. There's also an underlying tone to things that need to be addressed. And it can be the little bit of poison that is unbalancing relationships, or that is unbalancing you. That doubt, that fear, that whisper in your mind, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I moving forward the right way? Am I a complete, failure at this? How sometimes when you get in a really bad mood and you can just rip into yourself, and if somebody spoke to you like that, you would get up and leave? You would look at them and you'd be like, well, screw you. And you would walk away. But here it's coming from your own head. And sometimes you have to tell yourself to hush. Just stop it and let me move forward. Because I might not know exactly what I'm doing, but I have a really good idea of where I want to be and how I want to get there. And so you're letting it unfold. So as you are embracing this heart's truth, and it can also be that as you are working with a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer, there's an underlined negativity that needs to be addressed, that needs to be looked at. And it can either be with a person or it can be within your own heart. There could be something that happened that has scarred you, that has left you feeling overwhelmed, that has left you feeling as if, oh my gosh, I can't move forward this way. That may even leave you feeling as if I can't trust myself. And here with the Sun card, as you kind of address this emotional challenge, and as you become this queen of your heart, of your soul, of yourself, okay, you step into the sun. You step into a time of celebration, a time of beauty, a time of understanding. And the kind of tricky thing about this is that people aren't going to see this internal struggle. People are going to see you embraced by the sun and having this beautiful energy around you that draws them in. So this can also promote jealousy, because whenever I get the sun card, it's like, wow, this is awesome. But then also you'll see people kind of wanting to take you by eyes, wanting you to fall, wanting you to fail, wanting, something to happen so that they can have that luck, because they haven't come to the realization yet that there is enough prosperity in the world to go around. And once they realize it, the doors will start to open for them. And that's one of the things that your heart is realizing right here with the Ace of Cups, not the Ace of Cups, with the Queen of Cups. There's that prosperity there that is being gifted to you from the divine to move you forward to blessings, to beauty, to truth, to the innocent joy of childhood, to the innocent joy of, not having the cares and the worries, but being blissful and being free. But also, this is a very wealthy child, right? He's on a horse, and the horse is, absolutely decked out, and he's wearing a little crown. So it's like you have the bliss coming, and you will be embracing the bliss, and it will make you feel free. It will make you feel contented within your soul. And that is such a contrast with your crown from your roots, because your roots are the 5 of coins and the 5 of cups. They are the two fives that are like, are you kidding me? This is what's happening. With the 5 of coins, it can be money's tight. It can be that, you feel like you're on the outside looking in. It can be just being completely overwhelmed, questioning things. And then with the 5 of cups, this is actually saying, change your mind and change your life, because you will not be caught in the darkness anymore. As you change your mind, as you change your perception, as you change what you are focusing on, you're changing the narrative of your existence. It's kind of like going from a pauper to a king. And as you do so, you start to see that there are blessings around you. And what's so interesting is, like, this is a pope and this is a monk. So, or somebody very high up in the church hierarchy, but I do think it's the pope from the hat. So here you have somebody who's supposed to be subservient, comforting somebody of power. And here you have a man in rags, and he is being comforted by an angel. So the Pope has an angel over him. So here, it's like your angels are always with you. And even when you think, I'm supposed to be the strong one, I'm supposed to be the one who has the answers, you are going to find that the answers come from the most unlikely source, or in the most unlikely way. And it really does guide you to moving forward to this internal light, and in this eternal light. And as you do so, you're going to see that resolutions come, it may not be easily, but they come more quickly than anticipated. And you can start to see, solutions coming forward, things, being solved. And then with the Hermit, you turn inward, your light shines bright, and you turn towards your goals, you turn towards your desires. Now, for some reason, the time frame of August 23rd to September 22nd is astoundingly important in all of this. I don't know why, but I just see that it is. And here, it can be that as we turn towards our eternal light, as we turn towards the essence of our truth, we learn to move forward gently. Because in the Spirit Guide Animal cards, the Deer Spirit says embrace gentleness. And I'm just seeing us here embracing gentleness. It's having, the animals come around us. And it's not, and what I see that is important with this is that animals don't care. They don't care what car you drive. They don't care your zip code. They don't care about a lot of things that we as human beings judge ourselves off of. So here it is like the essence of you is calling faith to them. They're like, oh, I can trust you. Oh, I can see. The heart of you is guiding you forward in your truth. And then there's a little sparrow right down here. And what I love about that is that sparrows are seen as, they're kind of overlooked. They're not like the prettiest of the birds and everything like that, but they are my favorite. So here, as you look at the sparrow, there's a connection with a greater group. So sparrows always live together, and they can work together, and they can take down a hawk. So here, you have that sense of camaraderie. You have the cat right here. So there's also that sense of independence, and there's a sense of gentleness and love that guides you forward to something more. And as you embrace this Virgo time frame, as you embrace this Virgo energy, as you move forward in your truth, you move towards the lovers. Now, the lovers can simply be the loving pair of Venus and of Mars, right? So it can be that this time frame really does have you kind of feeding off your power, making you feel safe within yourself, seeing how things fit together, and moving forward in that loving truth. Also, when I look at this, I kind of see the scales of the Libra image, scales right here, with the hands of the angel and the woman and the man. So there is this sense that love is moving you forward and love is bringing you balance. And there's also a sense of balance coming from the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself. Now, with the little greyhound right here, I don't know if you've ever known anybody who's owned a greyhound, but especially greyhound puppies, they're insane. They will sleep all day and then get these little bursts of energies and be like children on extreme sugar highs. It's like insane to see. And I knew this guy, he had to clear out this whole entire room so that his greyhound could just run and run and run and run and run. Because the first day he had her, she broke her leg because she just started running and she jumped and she didn't make the jump and she hit something and it was a complete mess. So her leg had to be in a cast and she was just a little tiny puppy. So there is a sense of fragility of getting this urge to just move forward and thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to go for it. Why? Because I love it. I used to watch this little boy when I was a teenager, and his answer for everything to me was, oh, but Dean, I love it. I have to. I love it. And that's going to be kind of the feeling like, oh, I love it. I have to do it. But it's going to say here, think it through. Make sure it's coming from a balanced aspect of you, because you have such passion, such creativity around you, Capricorn, that it calls you forward. It can also be heightened sexual energy. Now, if you are in quarantine all by yourself, that can be very frustrating, but there's also this sense of this heightened energy being used for creativity, and you can see yourself producing some really beautiful things during this time as you focus yourself, as you move yourself forward, and it brings you to being a defender of your heart and changing your mind and changing your whole entire life. As you do so, the Ten of Swords comes forward. And I know nobody likes the Ten of Swords. Like, you sit there and you look at it and you think, oh, how ominous. It's not a lovely card. And here you have this poor guy with 10 swords in him, and you're thinking, wow, 2 swords, 3 swords definitely would have done it. And then I always think of, what is it, Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, and how he was stabbed, like, I think 58 times. And you think, wow, that guy either has to really not be liked, or, it's a political statement or whatever. But here, to have 10 long swords stuck in him, I mean, that's expensive. That's expensive. So here, how I'm starting to come to look at the 10 of Swords is like each year you learn a lesson. And it's a sword stabbed into you, because the lessons that stick are the ones that are painful. I mean, you could sit there and say, Dane, that's rubbish, there's this and there's that. But for me, the lessons that stick are the lessons that were painful. And I'm not going to forget those anytime soon. And each year we acquire at least one lesson that sticks. And so see this as a decade. You're not the same person. Heck, you're usually not the same person 5 years down the road. So here, there is this sense of you having a wealth of knowledge in you. And the swords will be taken out. Why? They're expensive. They'll either be taken out for you to use, or they will be taken out by somebody else. And they will have to learn these lessons. But as you resurrect, because this is the darkness before the dawn, as you resurrect from the overkill of everything that you have learned, everything that you have taken in, you are a new person. And you are wiser. And maybe a little bit smarter than before. And sometimes it only feels like a little bit. And sometimes you might even think, oh, Dana, I'm not wiser. There's so much more now I don't know. But didn't the Buddha say, to be able to say I do not know is to be on the true path of enlightenment? Or something, I'm paraphrasing. It leads you to being a king of your existence. Meaning that you are the actor upon the stage, people are taking note of you, you are passionate, you are powerful, you are standing with your kingdom behind you, and what is this? Wealth before you? And it's like, I deserve this. I've made it. And as you've made it, you enter into the realm of your sun, the realm of your beauty. And that's really important because the sun is really important to us during this time. Because we are reflecting its passion, its power, its light, just as the moon reflects the sun. We reflect not only the light of the sun, but the light of the moon. And so we have that fiery intensity, because just think of being in a place with no trees. Okay, when the sun beats down, my gosh, it can be hot. Like, think of yourself in the desert. It's hot. And then the nighttime comes, and it could be below 0, and it's freezing. So you have these two extremes. We are the reflection of the extremes, because we can be both. But we can also meld them together, marry them together, become the lovers of that intensity to move forward. And let us see where that leads us in the moon. How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. All right. Oh, wow, that's the one that popped out, so that's really cool. Aquarius, very powerful for you here. How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the April 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. All right. Yeah, wow. So you surrender to the acceptance of purity, beauty, and fortune. That's lovely. That is lovely. I love that. What a beautiful statement. Okay, so we have surrender right here. You surrender to what you are juggling. You surrender to a higher power, to a higher truth, to a higher sense of self. This then leads you to the cardinal moon, which says, be bold and make the first move as you move forward in your heart's truth, in the knowledge of your passion, which leads you to the acceptance of the self, acceptance of the heart, acceptance of the darkness that lives within beauty, acceptance of a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer. That then leads you to the new moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation, and you will have the sun. And you will have all that you could imagine if you bring love into the situation. It's so important for you. Purity. Now, it's funny because the new moon, well, the full moon and the new moon of April are represented by the color white, which brings purity and protection, which brings us to happiness. May is represented by the color green, which brings us money, prosperity, okay, growth, fertility, and empowerment, which leads us to empowerment. So here the purity of your intentions are coming forward, and that is where the angel stands by you, and you see that sometimes it might feel desolate. It might feel like you're all alone. Here it is in the darkness. Here it is in the starkness of the white. So it doesn't matter which color you see. If you're put in an all white room or an all black room, it can drive you insane either way. And so here you are focusing on the purity of your intentions, the impurity of your power, to have lifted from your eyes the sense of being overwhelmed and stepping into your light, knowing that your angels are with you. And as you do so, with the new moon in Aries, it's time to take action. It's time to change your mind, to change your whole entire life. And as you change your mind to change your life, beauty is called in. And I love this because this flower right here looks to me like lips. And it's like kissing a butterfly. It's kissing the whimsy of the wind. And as you do so, you follow the light of your soul. You pull inwards, right? And you follow the light of your truth. And as you follow the light of your truth with the new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins, which is fantastic. You also have a strong Libra presence here because it brings you to your lover. It brings you to your passion. Now, this could be a physical lover that you wind up, either meeting or, getting to know over the internet, online, or it can be that, this brings you to a love of your life, like a love for your life, like the purpose of your life, and you fall in love with it. And you fall in love with you, which brings you to being bold and making the first move, because it's time to take action. It's time to live the life you want. And as you do so, you bring to fruition all the lessons you have learned, all the reasons you have fallen, all the times of being betrayed and overwhelmed and feeling out of place. And there is the darkness, but the dawn is coming. And you bring to fruition your greatness, your beauty, your uniqueness, and your power. This leads you to the full moon in Aries. Show the world the real you, because it brings you to grandeur. It brings you to blessings. Let your heart shine through. Step into the true power of yourself. It brings love to the situation, and you are bold as you make the first move towards the rest of your life. Your subconscious message is the Seven of Swords. Subconsciously, you can feel like there's sneakiness going on around you, or you can feel like you're being sneaky with yourself. It's kind of like, I just need to say the truth of it. There's something you've been tiptoeing around. There's also here with the Seven of Swords a sense of gathering up your information and leading and moving forward. Moving forward to the next stage, saying, I need the truth, I need the understanding of myself, and I'm going to get there. This leads you to understanding the true extent of your willpower, the true force of you, which moves you to knowing that adjustments are required. It moves you to the third quarter moon in order to make that will a reality, in order to change and live your destiny. All right, goodness, just looking at these cards right here, strong Aquarius energy. All right, Capricorn, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending healing energy to each and every one of you. I hope you are staying safe and well. I love you all. Bye.